Listen to me. If you want 2026 to feel different, you can't keep living on the same level. You can't walk into a new year carrying the same scattered habits and expect your life to rise. At some point, you have to look at your own reflection and say, enough. I'm ready to organize the life I know I'm meant to live. A family, there comes a moment when you stop waiting for clarity and start creating it, a moment when you stop blaming time, circumstances, or exhaustion, and you decide to take full ownership of your direction. 2026 is not waiting for you. It's already on its way. And if you want to step into it with strength, you have to organize your world from the inside out. Order is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about putting your focus where your future needs it. It's about clearing the noise so your purpose can breathe. Tonight, I want you to challenge yourself. Not gently, not casually. Force yourself into the discipline, structure, and clarity that will shape your best life. Because greatness doesn't grow in clutter. Growth happens where intention lives. When you clean your mental space, you open the door to the life you keep saying you want. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing the atmosphere inside their mind. They chase a new year with old thinking, old noise, and old versions of themselves. You can't rise like that. You can't organize your life while carrying thoughts that work against you. Clearing your mind isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about creating room for clarity, focus, and direction. Your mind is the place where every decision starts. If that space is crowded with doubts, fear, and unfinished emotional business, your path will always feel heavy. You begin to move slower. You second guess yourself. You hesitate on opportunities that were meant to grow you. So the first step toward organizing your life is to deal with the mental clutter that keeps stealing your attention. Sometimes that clutter comes from your environment. Sometimes it comes from your past. And sometimes it's simply the voice in your head that keeps replaying limits you no longer need to accept. When you take a moment to sit with yourself and identify what's weighing on your mind, you begin to understand what's blocking your growth. Maybe it's the pressure to meet expectations. Maybe it's the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's the worry that you're not enough. These thoughts build up quietly, but they influence everything. They shape your habits, your discipline, and your confidence. Cleaning your mental space means you stop letting those thoughts run without challenge. You start replacing noise with intention. You choose thoughts that support your direction. You allow silence when needed. You give your mind room to breathe so your decisions come from clarity, not chaos. When your inner space is clearer, you communicate better. You handle stress with more strength. You recognize opportunities sooner. You stay present. You stay grounded. You stay capable of organizing your life because your foundation is stable. As you prepare for 2026, give yourself the gift of a calm and ordered mind. This isn't about erasing everything that hurt you or pretending nothing ever happened. It's about choosing not to let those things drive your future. A focused mind sharpens your vision. A peaceful mind strengthens your discipline. A clean mind builds the inner order that your best life depends on. Creating structure around your time is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your future. Time is the one thing you never get back, yet it slips away the fastest when your days have no shape. Most people don't lose their purpose because they lack talent or desire. They lose it because their hours are scattered. Their energy is divided. Their focus is always reacting instead of directing. When you give your time structure, you take back control of your life instead of letting the day decide for you. Structure doesn't mean filling every minute or living under pressure. It means giving your day intention. It means choosing what deserves your attention and creating a rhythm that supports your goals. When you wake up without a plan, your mind goes into survival mode. You start responding to noise, distractions, and obligations that pull you away from what really matters. But when you begin your day with a sense of order, you move with purpose. You shift from reacting to leading. A structured day helps you protect your energy. You start recognizing where your time leaks. Maybe it's endless scrolling. Maybe it's people pulling you into conversations that drain your focus. Maybe it's tasks that feel urgent but don't push your life forward. When you build structure, you learn to say yes with intention and no without guilt. You stop letting everything feel like an emergency. You allow yourself room to breathe, plan, and grow. Giving your time structure also builds confidence. When you finish the tasks you set for yourself, even in small ways, you strengthen your sense of control. You prove to yourself that discipline is possible. Progress becomes something you can feel. You start trusting your ability to manage your life instead of feeling overwhelmed by it. The more you follow your structure, the more stable you feel inside. A well-shaped day also creates consistency, and consistency is what changes your life over time. You don't need dramatic events or sudden breakthroughs. You need steady steps that add up. When you organize your hours, those steps become natural. You begin to understand your own rhythm. You learn when you're most productive, when you need rest, and how to balance both without losing momentum. As you shape your plans for 2026, building structure around your time becomes a foundation. It gives your days direction, your mind clarity, and your goals a realistic path. Time becomes a tool instead of a burden. And when you command your time, you begin shaping the life you were meant to live. Setting clear priorities is the moment you stop living on autopilot and start honoring what actually matters. Life pulls you in many directions. And if you don't decide what deserves your attention, everything will feel urgent. Everything will feel important. Everything will fight for your energy until you're exhausted and unsure of what you achieved. Priorities give your life order. They act like a filter that separates what helps you grow from what only keeps you busy. When your priorities are unclear, you end up carrying responsibilities that don't align with your direction. You say yes to things you don't need to commit to. You invest effort into situations that add little value. You give your emotional space to people who drain more than they contribute. Without priorities, your life slowly becomes a reaction instead of a purpose-driven path. You feel productive yet disconnected, busy yet unfulfilled, moving yet not advancing. The moment you define what matters, everything shifts. You start recognizing which tasks deserve your focus and which ones can wait. You begin protecting your energy because you finally understand where it needs to go. When you name your priorities, you remove the silent confusion that follows you through your day. Suddenly your decisions become clearer, your direction becomes stronger, your purpose becomes easier to follow. Priorities also help you navigate distractions. In a world full of notifications, noise, and constant demands, it's easy to get pulled into things that feel urgent but lead nowhere. When your priorities are set, you can look at those distractions and say, this doesn't belong to the life I'm building. That simple awareness saves you time, protects your peace, and keeps you aligned with your goals. Living with clear priorities also brings freedom. It frees you from the guilt of trying to be everywhere for everyone. It frees you from the pressure to meet expectations that don't match your future. It frees your mind to focus on what adds meaning to your days. When you follow your priorities, you don't feel torn between choices. You move with intention, you move with clarity. As you prepare for 2026, setting your priorities is like setting the compass for your year. It reminds you of what you value, what you want to build, and who you want to become. When you know your priorities, your time becomes more meaningful, your decisions become smoother, and your progress becomes steady. Your life begins to move in the direction you choose, not the direction life pushes you toward. Building systems that support your goals is how you turn intention into real, steady progress. Goals alone can inspire you for a moment, but systems carry you through the days when motivation fades. They create a rhythm that keeps you aligned even when life gets busy or unpredictable. A system is simply a repeatable way of doing things that makes your path smoother. It removes the guesswork. It saves your energy. It builds consistency without forcing you to rely on willpower every single day. When you wake up with no structure, you spend half your time deciding what to do instead of actually doing it. Systems fix that. They give your tasks a home. They give your habits a path. They help you stay connected to your vision without feeling overwhelmed by it. A strong system makes small steps easier. And those small steps are what shape your long-term success. Systems also protect you from emotional swings. Some days you feel inspired and ready to conquer everything. Other days you're tired or discouraged. Without systems, your progress rises and falls based on your mood. But when you have a routine that's already in place, you don't depend on how you feel to move forward. You follow the plan you built on your clear days. You lean on the structure that supports you when your energy is low. A good system doesn't need to be complicated. It works because it fits your life. It guides your daily actions without adding pressure. It could be how you start your mornings. It could be the way you plan your tasks. It could be how you track your progress or organize your environment. These repeated patterns become the invisible engine behind your growth. As your system strengthens, you begin to notice something important. You spend less time thinking about what to do and more time doing it. You keep your focus where it matters. You make decisions faster. You see results more clearly. Systems bring order to your day, and order brings stability to your life. As you prepare for 2026, think of your systems as the roots that hold your goals in place. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be consistent. When your habits have a pattern, your growth becomes natural. When your days have structure, your goals stop being distant ideas and start becoming a part of who you are. Systems give you the support you need to build your best year with strength, clarity, and steady progress. Protecting your environment is one of the quiet strengths behind every season of growth. You can work hard, set goals, and plan your steps, but if the space around you doesn't support your direction, you'll feel like you're fighting uphill every day. Your environment shapes your focus. It influences your mood. It affects your discipline without you even noticing. When you take control of it, you give yourself a better chance to stay aligned with the life you're trying to build. Your environment includes the people you allow close, the atmosphere you live in, and the energy you surround yourself with. If you spend most of your time around people who stay stuck, complain, or discourage your progress, you'll feel your own ambition shrinking, not because you don't believe in yourself, but because your surroundings keep pulling you backward. Growth needs space. It needs support. It needs voices that respect your direction and habits that honor your time. Protecting your environment doesn't mean isolating yourself or cutting everyone away. It means being honest about what helps you move forward and what pulls you off track. Some people bring clarity. Some bring confusion. Some environments fuel your creativity. Others drain your strength. When you start paying attention to these patterns, you understand why some days feel heavy even when nothing went wrong. Sometimes the weight isn't inside you, it's around you. A supportive environment also includes the physical spaces you live and work in. Clutter, noise, and constant distraction make it harder to think clearly. A peaceful environment calms your mind and helps you focus on what matters. Even small changes can shift your energy. Organizing your space, limiting noise, or creating a corner dedicated to your goals can make your daily life feel lighter and more aligned. The more you protect your environment, the clearer your path becomes. You start noticing how much easier it is to stay disciplined when you're not battling negativity or chaos. You become more intentional with your time because your surroundings no longer compete with your purpose. You feel more grounded, more confident, and more aware of what supports your growth. As you prepare for 2026, pay attention to what your environment is saying to you. Every space either strengthens your direction or distracts you from it. Every relationship either adds peace or tension. When you surround yourself with support, calm, and clarity, your goals stop feeling like a struggle. Your environment becomes a partner in your growth, lifting you instead of limiting you. Tracking your progress is how you stay connected to the growth you're aiming for. Most people work hard, but never pause long enough to notice what's actually changing. They don't see the small wins, the quiet improvements, or the moments where they handled something better than they did a year ago. When you don't track your progress, you start believing you're not moving at all. You overlook the signs that your effort is paying off. Tracking is not about judgment, it's about awareness. It's about being honest with yourself in a way that strengthens you, not weakens you. When you keep track of your steps, your choices, and your results, you build self-trust. You begin to understand your patterns. You see what works and what drains you. You notice which habits support your direction and which ones slow your momentum. This awareness lets you adjust before you drift too far. It keeps you grounded in responsibility instead of drifting into frustration. Progress becomes something you can measure, reflect on, and improve, not just something you hope for. Tracking also helps you stay motivated. When you can look back and see how far you've come, even if it's inch by inch, you gain strength for the days when you feel tired or discouraged. Growth is rarely loud or dramatic. Most of the time it's quiet, consistent, and steady. When you track it, the small things start to matter. You begin to appreciate the steps that don't look impressive, but carry real weight over time. You realize that progress isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Another benefit of tracking is accountability. You hold yourself to the standard you set. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else. You're comparing your present to your past. That kind of accountability leads to maturity. It builds discipline. It teaches you to stay committed even when life feels unpredictable. You don't have to make big leaps every week. You just have to keep moving, keep noticing, and keep adjusting. Tracking also gives you clarity. It reveals when you're slipping and when you're rising. It helps you understand what you need more of and what you need less of. You stop guessing and start making informed decisions. You become more strategic with your time and effort because you know exactly what's helping you grow. As you prepare for 2026, make tracking your progress a part of your routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. When you stay aware of your journey, you stay in control of your direction. You move into the new year with confidence, clarity, and a deeper connection to the life you're building.